14 WILI and 95.3 FM presents Hometown Threads, a closer look at our community and the people that make it go. Every week, you'll hear uplifting stories from our local businesses and our neighbors. Now, here's our host for Hometown Threads, Keith C. Rice.
All right, away we go with episode 79 of Hometown Threads on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM. And Willimantic Today Facebook and Spectrum 192, WILI Radio YouTube channel and WILI Radio YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. You can subscribe for free. Big things going on with that. Just keep listening to WILI for more details about that. And of course, Hometown Threads comes your way thanks to our friends at Liberty Bank. Big thanks to Liberty Bank, B Community Kind, with 3 great local locations right across the street from the radio station at 679 Main Street, Willimantic, West Main Street, Willimantic, Gateway Commons, and Route 195 in Mansfield. Liberty Bank, B Community Kind, J. Matt Rupar, if you'd be so kind. Thank you. Say hello to the fine folks.
Hello.
And of course, you can always listen to Hometown Threads on WILI every Tuesday from 5:05 to 5:30, and it's all over social media throughout the week. But if you want to catch up on previous shows and all our other great talk shows, WILI.com, and the Hometown Threads podcast is brought to you by Triple E Pro Clean Services. Now, let's get on with episode 79. I know it's a mouthful, but top of the show, you got to get all that out. It's a pleasure to welcome in Chris Beaudry. He's can we call you the entertainment director of Third Thursday Street Fest?
The newly appointed, sure.
Newly appointed.
I like to put that out there so that, people don't expect too much off the bat,
But it is entertainment director, right?
Entertainment coordinator, music coordinator, because Aaron Morrell kind of hires some of the talent too when it comes to like the street performers, fire breathers, stilt walkers. She's
fire breathers and stilt walkers. So she does all that, and you bring in like the music part.
And I bring in the tunes. Yeah.
Big shout out to Aaron, and Aaron and Chris work hand in hand, and Chris as the newly appointed entertainment director for coordinator or whatever for Third Thursday Street Fest. You've also been in here. I think you've been on like with Dennis and Susan, right? You've been on some of the other talk shows.
Yeah, for Street Fest, and then prior to that, I was on with John Murphy.
And you've been on with Wayne too. So
I haven't been on with Wayne yet.
I think you've been on with Wayne.
I was invited, and I couldn't make it for whatever reason, probably.
It was
too early in the morning for me.
All right, so we're going to get into everything you're doing. You've done such a great job, and we've, the 3 of us, including J. Matt Rupar, I'll call you Matt, I always call you J. Matt. How long have I known him? I'm still calling him J. Matt Rupar. We've all, last month, the 3 of us had to put our heads together at the last second because we had a rain shower for the August 3rd Thursday. Still went off without a hitch, but a quick story here, I guess. The rain shower happened at like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And Matt and I,
it was like a
yeah, you're right. It was a pretty
scary,
heavy rain shower. We did go on for 30, 45 minutes.
Something like that.
And Matt and I are pacing up and down the halls of the station. Like, are they going to call? Are they going to call it?
Yeah.
And then it turns out Chris and Aaron were trying to reach us, and right at the last second, we had a band cancel the downtown stage. It was right outside.
The stage canceled, because
the whole stage canceled. So we had an empty flatbed. So Chris said, "Hey, could you play our sister station, I-98.3?" And Matt and I, and well, mainly Matt, we hustled to make it work. And that's what happens. That's the kind of stuff Chris has to deal with on a month-to-month basis. And we'll get into maybe some other stories you got. But first,
we should also shout out to Andy Goot at
Andy Goot, yes,
for lending us his speakers there.
That PV speaker.
Right.
Thank you, Andy Goot, from, of course, Stone Row Kitchen and Bar. But before we get into all Third Thursday Street Fest, and you got so much else going on besides the newly appointed entertainment director coordinator. Tell us about Chris Beaudry. How did you end up in Eastern Connecticut or Willimantic?
It's a complicated, no, it's not that complicated. I'm from Mansfield, so.
Oh, you're from Mansfield? Yeah, I kept thinking you were from another part of the state.
No. I was working in another part of the state more recently, but born and raised Mansfield, Leo Smith High School.
Go Panthers.
Yeah, so, I've been a local. I mean, I considered this, where I would come for like cultural or, just entertainment and fun in the summer. I remember the Street Fest. I think it was my senior year in high school. Was the first year it started.
So you go way back coming to Street Fest. All right.
Yeah, and I've been frequent flyer at Corleone's Cafe. In fact, we can talk about that later. But
you guys got something going on there?
We got something going on there, musically inclined, that is. But yeah, I'm from the area. I went to E.O. Smith. Also went to the Greater Hartford Academy of the Arts. So I did like a split schooling thing in my last 2 years of high school. But this is like the cultural hub where all the activity happens. I mean, I love Mansfield, and I'll be talking about something I have a part in Mansfield coming up later this month. But
Another thing.
Willimantic holds my heart for art and culture.
But a Mansfield kid.
Yeah.
A Mansfield kid making Willimantic his home.
Yeah,
With all due respect to Mansfield, too, of course.
Yeah.
What year did... First of all, two questions. Why did you leave Smith to go to the art school, and what year did you graduate?
I didn't leave Smith. It was a half-day program.
Oh, it was a half-day program. Oh, sorry.
Greater Hartford Academy of the Arts. It's still functional. It's CREC, Capital Regional Art Education Council, or something like that. But they have all kinds of magnet schools, and that's what it was when I went there. And it was unbelievable program because I got to study with some real great musicians, including Paul Brown, who's the namesake of the Paul Brown Monday Night Jazz Festival in Hartford.
Wow.
And he was there. We, lovingly referred to him as PB. But he played with the likes of Sarah Vaughan, and he was there teaching students music. I also studied with Jimmy Green, who you may know, Harry Connick Jr. That's his sax player.
I think we've heard of him, right? Harry Connick Jr.?
Yeah.
Play him on WILI.
Yeah, it was kind of like really just a unique experience that not a lot of people get the chance to experience, and that's where I kind of got my start in music and the world of jazz.
So you knew going through high school, you always had a passion for music.
Yeah, oh totally. Since middle school, actually.
Really?
In fact, my director in middle school was also she technically my second cousin, or one of those removed. My mom's cousin's wife, Kay Namasic, Catherine Namasic, who was the middle school teacher there, and then she's done so much in music. She conducted the Eastern what is it?
Symphony?
Not the symphony, the concert band.
Oh, okay.
The Wyndham Concert Band, excuse me.
Wow.
The WCB. And she has taught at Eastern. She's done the community band. She was also a conductor in the Army, and most recently she played in the Dixie Band at the Street Fest last month. The Dixie Cats. They were a 6-piece brass, New Orleans kind of Dixie band with trombone. She plays trumpet. But yeah, still she's she probably wouldn't like me to say in her 70s, but still super active in music as a performer, as an educator, and I owe great debt of gratitude to her because she gave me my initial passion for the music in middle school.
Wow.
And then I just carried it through to where we are now. So
And how old are you?
I'm 39, going to be 40 in April next year. So
All right.
yeah, that was 30 years ago that I started saxophone.
Really?
At Mansfield Middle School, yeah.
Okay, so you've done, you do saxophone. Well, can you still do it?
Oh yeah, I still play
Good for
regularly.
you.
I'll pitch some of my gigs on the show today too, if you don't mind. Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta keep an eye on the time.
I got a list like you at the beginning of the show, just my own.
Well, let me know. We got to because if you have a lot of stuff to plug, we definitely got to get to that. But all right, so you do the saxophone. Can you sing?
You don't, in the shower alone. Yeah, but no, you don't want to hear me sing in public, maybe.
Because we had a singer on last week, Karen Bushy, who were helping you actually promote She's the Entertainment,
right.
Yeah. And you probably booked Karen last week.
I did, yeah.
She was our guest last week on Hometown Threads, and go figure, we have now we have Chris on,
Yeah.
and so singing, not really. What else? What other talents do you have along?
I haven't done it in a while, but I used to play nylon string classical guitar. And my mother, she loved the music, but she hated the thought of how I had to have my nails grown out on one hand and not the other. I don't know if anybody out there understands, but a classical guitarist, nylon, the picks are actually your fingernails because you do like that.
Now, this is Hometown Threads. We could get you on Homegrown with Matt Rupar on Fridays because he's all about the Connecticut music scene and all that. So Beaudry would be a great guest.
Yeah, blow a few notes.
Yeah, so we got to get especially with these gigs coming up. All right, so. What else? What else should we know about you as far as musical talents?
All right, in a nutshell, let's see. So high school, E.O. Smith, Hartford Academy, and then I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Did
for my
you?
Undergrad, yeah. And then I moved back to town, did some random stuff, always gigging, always teaching private lessons. I've taught at Music and Arts and Vernon. I taught, home lessons out of my home, in people's homes.
Wow.
And then I actually came full circle and did a year as a faculty member at the Hartford Academy. So
you've got a resume.
Yeah, that was after a guy named Chris Allen, a fantastic Connecticut-based saxophonist out of the Hart School. There's a great jazz program in the Hart School of Music. Jackie McLean is a name that people know in jazz. He actually started the Jackie McLean Institute of Jazz. But so there's a robust. In fact, for the next Street Fest, I'll tie this in. I have a co-sponsored stage with the Hartford Jazz Society. And so they're actually putting some money down, and they're going to have a band come through, and we're going to book a local jazz band. We're going to have, kind of like a stage takeover by Eminence for Hartford Jazz, with the Willimantic Street Fest. So
I can see why they brought this guy in, the connections.
Yeah,
oh
connections.
My God.
Mostly in the world of jazz. So after the Hartford Academy, after I taught at the Hartford Academy, I did my master's at NYU. Lived in New York City for 7 years, leading up to the pandemic, when I had like a week planned to come home, just like a vacation in, it was, I think, March
March
of
of 2020.
First week when shit just hit the fan. I guess I can't say that on the air, but
It's all right.
it hit
say
the
it on
fan. I
YouTube.
mean, come on. But
You leave it on the YouTube.
So and then I was just back in Connecticut, and I've been back since. But those 6-7 years in New York City were kind of seminal in my development and my network, creation. I worked as an agent, a booking agent, for 2 years at a company called J. Chris & Co., who at the height of their operation were booking Harry Connick, and they were booking Wynton Marsalis. This was back in like the 80s and 90s. In the late 2010s it was. We were still doing some big names, but it was a great experience for me because I was booking like international tours. I did tour management in Chile and Ecuador.
You've dabbled in all this and you're only 39?
Yeah, man. It's
Oh my
kind of,
goodness.
it's like I always say that it's a meme, I guess, online, but like people's idea of success is a straight line, and when in actuality it's just like a jagged, just scrambling, and that's me, man. I've been kind of a little.
We're
bit
so lucky to have you here. Now, I'm afraid to ask you this because we don't want to lose you, but
Yeah.
do you, you're newly appointed, so you can't be going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's my question.
Not-
You don't
not
plan, do you have any bigger plans? I mean, what do you see yourself doing? I don't know, let's just say 10 years from now.
10 years. Well, I mean, we've touched briefly. I'm not going to give too many details away, but I can see myself as an owner of a venue, and there is something kind of in the works now. But
Around
details-
here?
Around here.
All right, it's good.
Yeah.
We're not going to lose them. Good.
I mean, I just see, like, as do all the young up and coming and established business owners on Main Street.
Good.
There's so much young
we
vitality.
need you here in this. We
and
need you
passion.
locked in this
Yeah.
community.
I mean, the Willimantic, it's, Gene's nonprofit, Willimantic Renaissance Inc. I really believe there is a Willimantic Renaissance that's been building kind of slow boil, but I think it's going to come to a head with businesses like Trigo and Egg and Cheese and, Willie
There are
Brew
young
and
businesses, really,
Corleone's
yeah.
and Amano Taco and
Dave Wallner's like the Godfather. I always call him the Godfather.
Right,
Of,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever, as long as I've known Dave, I don't know if I've ever actually said that to his face. You're the Godfather.
And he's in
of
the
this
perfect building.
I
for it,
know.
too. It's like a Roman.
And he's so wonderful to other businesses around here,
Yeah.
and he just he's all about giving, and I just love that guy. But he was like, what was he? He was number 2. He was our second ever guest here on Hometown Threads.
Episode 2.
Dave Wallner was episode 2.
77 episodes ago.
77 episodes.
Crazy,
ago. But anyway, okay, so let's get into some of the stuff right now. Of course, where do you want to start with the last third Thursday of 2024? Or, I mean,
Sure,
you
yeah.
got lots
Why not?
going on, so why don't you talk a little about September 19th, the final third Thursday
Yeah.
of 2024 here in downtown
And
Willimantic.
it's going to be a beautiful day, too.
It is.
The weather's
Knock it
gonna
on
be,
wood.
it's going to be perfect. It's going to be like today,
Oh, let's hope so. Oof.
Yeah, it's going to be getting a little darker sooner, but we're still going to, carry the party on. We have the band that was supposed to play on the downtown stage. I managed. Apparently they're a big name in the area. Whiskey Boulevard.
Right.
guess
Were they
there's-
on in July too?
No.
No, that was-
They've never played the fest before.
Oh,
but,
they never did. Okay. Oh, that's right. That was the one that came. I remember somebody coming up to us.
They
saying,
were
"Hey,
standing. Yeah, right.
That's
they were
right. That
standing
was supposed to be
outside
August.
there.
Okay, so Whiskey Boulevard.
Whiskey Boulevard, and apparently they're pretty renowned around here because people were coming up and saying, when is this band playing? And then when the news came through that the stage was canceled, everybody said you need to have them back ASAP. And I had one spot opposite Jake Kulak on the Beer Garden stage, so we're gonna have them perform. And I think they're more for that stage too because they play places like the Atrium at Foxwoods.
Do they really?
And the Wolf Den at Mohegan.
And you
Like,
booked them?
well, actually, Aaron found them.
No, Aaron. Okay,
Yeah.
so you and Aaron kind of.
So I booked them, but Aaron kind of like led the talent,
Oh, okay.
led me to the talent. But yeah, I mean, it's I'm open to any suggestions. If anybody has any kind of band connection of their own band,
Yeah, how do they get a hold of you?
or a friend, they go to WillimanticStreetFest.com, and then inquiring bands can register. It's not guaranteed that you're going to get booked, but you can register so that you're on our radar. There's a button there for register, and then you just fill out, all of your band's info, website.
You got that, man, Rupar?
WillimanticStreetFest.com.
He's an entertainer. You can go register.
Yeah. No, seriously. And anybody that's on your show, Matt, just send them over.
I will do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And
So it's it's WillimanticStreetFest.com. WillimanticStreetFest.com.
there's a button that says register, and then you register as a vendor technically, but even though you're a band, I think there's a radio button for entertainer.
You could register. Okay.
Yeah. And then that basically gets shot to our inbox, and then we'll see, and we go through. When I came into the job, there was a backlog
Really?
of 21 years worth of inquiries. A lot of the bands had been booked, but many they were active 10 years ago. So I'm trying to get a hold of or get my bearings to who's still active. So if you have applied in the past, this goes to bands over the 21 years. Apply again, just so that we know that you're still active.
Now, how do you and Aaron make a final decision? Well, I want this one. I want this one. How do you guys come together and say, well, let's? Because you have the downtown stage, you have the what's the one by the theater again? It's called the beer garden.
We call it the beer garden.
The beer garden.
Midtown, technically, that's the Midtown area.
So Midtown, downtown, Midtown.
So
another stage.
The Street Fest, I can give a brief synopsis of the Street Fest. It's way uptown, which hasn't been active this season, just because we wanted it condensed so that it looked full, and so that's from Willybrew to what's the block past Eminence? Is that Bank Street?
Walnut Street.
Walnut Street, excuse me, Walnut Street. Yeah, with the garage on it, right? And then uptown is from Eminence. So Eminence is basically uptown to Midtown, where the beer garden is, which is by Berkshire Bank, and then downtown is where we are right now, and then way downtown is down by the Baptist Church, and where they kind of
Wow, so it's broken up into 4 different sections.
So 4 sections, that we have operational, and we have stages or performance areas. They're not technically stages, but they're performance areas as well. I mean, the what is it? The flatbed trailer, that's a stage basically.
Right.
The beer garden's a stage, but we also do things on Bank Street. We do things on Walnut Street. We do things in front of Eminence Inc. Yeah, I mean,
so
we
you
try
and
to,
Aaron, who decides? Like, do you book the music? Well, I know you guys both. It's a combination of both of you saying, like, do you ever bump heads or say, I want this one, I want this one, or that kind of thing? Like, how do you guys decide?
I think as the entertainment or the music coordinator, they kind of leave the last, the buck stops, like last decision to me. But,
Okay.
I definitely hear them. Like Aaron's suggestion of Whiskey Boulevard was, right on point.
I've heard of that, Whiskey Boulevard.
And, Gene suggests like DJ Chuck.
DJ Chuck
Miro
does a show here on Sunday mornings.
Yeah, so he did opposite the Dixie Cats, and it was great. A lot of DJs, when they're opposite like a jazz band or something, it's a very mismatched kind of style.
Aaron had asked me to do be a pop DJ, play some pop music, and I said I'd love to, but I have to represent the radio station, which but other than that,
but I want to give kudos to Edelmiro because during the breaks for the jazz band, he played right on brand, like perfect jazz stuff. And
really?
Then he went into his own
He's
set.
great.
So, being nuanced and in touch with what's going on.
He is.
I love professionals.
DJ Chuck is a fantastic DJ. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
So what else can you tell us about September? We know Karen Bushy. I know where's Bushy because I grew up with her. Karen Lucy, your band out here.
Yeah. So she's closing that stage. Bruce John and Dinosaurs After Dark is rescheduled because May was canceled.
So Bruce will be out here?
Bruce will be
Bruce
out
and
there.
Karen will be.
Bruce
I
and
get to see
Karen.
Bruce. Good.
So I think that'll be a complimentary kind of music stage there. In the beer garden, I think I mentioned Jake Kulak and the Modern Vandals, I believe his band's name is, and then Whiskey Boulevard will be there. And then we have the Hartford Jazz Society co-sponsored stage by Eminence Inc., 2 jazz bands. The second band is pretty cool. They're called the Hall Monitors, and they're all professional jazz musicians that are educators. So one of the sax players teaches in the West Hartford school system. The bass player teaches bass at UConn. I mean, they're all over, so they're really cool.
You got a diverse. Well, I'm sure it's always diverse like that every month.
That's what I'm trying. When you ask like how we do the programming, we try for just like something for everybody.
Yeah.
Jazz, Latin, rock, blues, funk. We had Jan Youngden's band, Fuse.
Patty Tewitt's done it a million times.
Patty Tewitt's done it a whole bunch. Unfortunately, her stage, she was on that stage that was canceled. But original music. Patty's an all original set, which is kind of like unheard of in the sea of cover bands out there.
Her brother John, if you knew this, has been a long time music.
John too. Yeah. So something for everybody, and try to keep the variety, varied.
That's great.
Yeah.
So let's see what else we got for entertainment. All right. So you got a diverse bucket of stuff going on with them. Anything else in September? Which September 19th we need to know about as far as Street Fest goes?
As far as Street Fest goes, I don't think so. It's going to be our culmination one for the year 2024. Hard to believe.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy, man.
And you're always putting out fires, as we saw last month. We don't need to get into that, but there's always stuff going on.
Always something. Yeah.
You and Aaron and all your staff do a great job. All right, we got a bunch of stuff we got to get to. Let's go.
Yeah.
Tell us where do you want to start first? Because you got a bunch of stuff to tell us about.
I was gonna, since the Mansfield Willimantic dynamic is, it lives in me. I would do a little pitching of the Celebrate Mansfield Festival, which I just got hired to be the MC for the main stage.
Really? When's that?
So this is September the 28th. Saturday, September 28th, from 2 to 8 p.m. And it's basically like Mansfield's version of the Willimantic Street Fest. It's Celebrate Mansfield, so there's going to be...
And you're the MC.
Yeah, so Kathleen Patterson, who's the interim executive director. I guess they just lost their executive director. She moved onward and upward, but she asked me because I played they had a summer music concert series, and with the Kingpins, which is kind of like a staple band in the area.
Of course.
We played the first, and we got to talking, and she ended up reaching out to me. So I'm going to be announcing the bands, and it's funny, small world. You can see the headliner there is Jake Kulak.
Yeah, Celebrate Mansfield, September 28th. That's up. Where is it again? Downtown Stores.
Downtown Stores. Betsy Patterson Square is going to be like the main stage, and then they're going to have satellite stages with the Puppet Museum, Ballard Institute of Puppetry is right there. They have, I think, like 10 booths with all kinds of Mansfield.
It's a pretty big deal. I remember talking about this last year. To Celebrate Mansfield. So come see Chris MC that.
Yeah.
And then you got other stuff going on too.
Yeah, so I invested in a sound system of my own. So I'm trying to like get acclimated with it, and I'm offering my services. So I offered my services to Angie at Yono, who's going to be doing the Yogamantic on, I believe that's this Sunday actually, September 8th.
September 8th, yeah.
8th, but it looks like there might be rain, so if you were interested in going to that, it's a free yoga thing in Gilson, and come one, come all. I think she expects like 120 people.
Yogamantic, I love that.
There will be a rain date. Knock on wood again. Weather's been the deciding factor, but I'm gonna be doing the sound for that.
Wow, you're all over.
Which is not too much. It's just putting on those relaxing tracks, and then
exactly
the announcer. So I'm doing that. What else? The Kingpins, the blues band that I play in. We're playing for the Downtown Country Fair.
Right.
On the 29th.
Well, don't forget about October 5th.
October 5th. Oh yeah, that's the big one, man.
Corleone's.
Corleone's Cafe. So Battle of the Bands 2024. Yeah.
And what year how many years have you done this now?
I did it for 3. So I started, I didn't technically start the open mic there, but took it over from a guy named Shane in 2012, and pitched to Ryan Smithwick, the owner, that we try Battle of the Bands. And he's like, okay, had his doubts, but once he saw that 8 bands brought their own following, and that place was just jumping for one night. I think it was his best night of the year in 2012. And it was a lot of fun. So we did it for 3 years, and then I went to New York. But he continued on with Derek and Dom, who were 2 guys that ran the open mic, and now Josh Scherf, shout out to Josh. He's the manager at GameStop in the Eastbrook Mall, but he runs the open mic every Thursday from 8:30 until late.
So how can people find out about this Battle of the Bands, October 5th at Corleone's?
Corleone's Willimantic on Facebook.
Okay.
There is a link. It's linktr.ee, linktree with a dot before the EE, /BOTB 2024. So Battle of the Bands, abbreviated 2024.
Well, speaking of linked, you are connected to many, many, many things, my friend. Did we leave anything out? Because I know you said there was something, you may have something in the works that we really don't want to touch on right now.
We'll do another episode.
Actually, we got to get you at Homegrown with Matt Rupar, so maybe you can talk a little more about that.
The venue for that, yeah.
Matt Rupar,
shout out to the show, man.
Homegrown 4 to 5. We'll get Chris Beaudry on that. But for now, we'll look forward to seeing in a couple weeks at the final third Thursday of 2024 downtown Willimantic. The newly appointed music/entertainment/coordinator/director. There, we got it right?
The many hats guy.
Chris Beaudry, and it's great to have him in here for episode 79 of Hometown Threads. on WILI. Brought to you by, thank you to Liberty Bank, Be Community Kind. Thank you to J. Matt Rupar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. In the words of the great Roddy Montgomery.
Bye for now, folks. Bye for now.
And that concludes another edition of Hometown Threads. Got a story for Keith? Reach out to him on Facebook by searching Keith C. Rice or email him at krice@hallradio.net. Don't forget to tune in next week on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM, as well as the Willimantic Today page on Facebook.